Hey guys, my name is Red Nomster, and today what I have for you is Toy Story in Halo Infinite's Forge mode, for the second time. Now if you're new here, this is going to be a brand new experience, so don't worry about it. There is a ton of new stuff to look at, of course. There is a Christmas theme, and a lot of new toys, brand new remastered assets, a bunch of new POIs, and it's just going to be a fun experience walking through each and every asset. But like I said, I've made this once before, and I essentially, with the help of Art Noob and Death Templar, we remastered and recreated Toy Story in Halo Infinite, and it's actually available. Back in the leaked build, the maps didn't transfer over once Forge officially released, so despite the fact that hundreds of thousands of people have seen this map, nobody's ever actually played it. Well, except for me, I suppose. So now that changes. We have brand new stuff to look at, and we're just going to hop right into it. Just like the last video, we're probably going to get lost in the sauce looking at all the new stuff, and I'm going to put a bunch of timestamps in the video, so make sure you check that out, but it's going to be a tangent nonetheless. So I'll try my best to keep it into categories. First off, this is blue base. That is red base over there on the, iconic Toy Story bed inside of Andy's room. And let's go ahead and actually just jump down. So starting at the very bottom, we have a beautiful nighttime aesthetic with a bunch of Christmas lights everywhere, and with the iconic concept behind Toy Story, which is we have a bunch of, mainstream toys that, Andy has already, as well as some brand new toys in the sense of I made assets for other maps that I've done, other toy maps in that case. And if you haven't checked those out, by the way, Toys in the Attic is a baller-ass map. I made a bunch of Legos and things like that. Regardless, though, the concept is we have a much more wholesome, warm, Christmas vibe in this map, and we have some open gifts with some brand new toys being introduced to Andy's room. Regardless, though, back off the tangent, we have blue base, and it's called blue base due to the very obvious concept that it is a massive blue desk. It's almost daunting the way you look at it and see Mr. Potato Head grinning at you as if you're some lonely peasant on the low ground. Regardless, there's a couple ways to get up to blue base. We have the little Tikes firetruck from Toy Story. Now this is actually supposed to be a repair field, specifically in Firefight. It's a grappling hook right now. It's not supposed to be, I'll change that, don't worry. You can parkour all the way up here, get onto the chair, and this is where the actual grappling hook is supposed to be on blue side. And you can grapple all the way up to the top, like so. That's pretty convoluted. Another way you can go up here is all the way from red base, running along the trim of the walls, behind Connect 4, on top of this retro TV, and then jumping up here. Also convoluted. One brand new thing I added to this map that wasn't in my previous version is the air vents over here on the side. Now we have some scaled FX, which wasn't possible back in the day, some beautiful sound effects, and some rushing lines that represent that this is an artificial man cannon. So instead of, building a bunch of parkour, I also added this little fancy lift that brings you all the way to the top. Now it actually is directional, so if you jump in the lift, you can actually land over there, or land on the sill of the wall over here on the trim, or you can land wherever and just run across like so. But yeah, there's some little screws hanging out like so, and it's just a fun little way to get up to the high ground and makes the map much more viable than it used to be in terms of gameplay. So I'm glad that we were able to come up with some sort of fun idea that's immersive and doesn't just it's not just some alien, gravity lift there for no reason. Now this is to act as cover, of course, for blue base. So if red base is over there looking at you on spawn, you can stare them down via your shades, like the pro you are. Or you can jump over here and make your route all the way there, fight them on high ground if you want. Of course, we have this beautiful pencil. This was made by Karmaplex. He worked with me on Game Night, which was the first map I made in the actual build of Forge. And so he's got a couple assets here that I've used. So we've got this little letter here, which acts as a ramp to get out, and this little, stack of sticky notes. But this spot right here isn't very useful for traditional Halo gameplay or for Firefight, of course, which both will be amazing fun to play on this map. But another thing that didn't exist back when I made the original map was infection. So there's a bunch of little hidey holes like this that might be fun to hide in or to have some sort of last stand in. And over here, I made and remastered Potato Head. So he's got his little duffel bag gloves, his sandbag mustache, looking sexy as hell. You can also, you know, jump on top of them if you want to assert dominance and get some a little bit better high ground. Or we can just, you know, jump straight down here. So like I said, we have a Christmas aesthetic, which, you know, not only storyline-wise allows us to add even more toys, not just more Toy Story assets, but, you know, cool Legos and things that Andy doesn't necessarily have, but received for Christmas. And then over here, we have the actual Christmas light. You can run up these lights and, you know, maybe have some cool little infection spot, or you can use them as what they're meant to be used for, which is this colorful little guide to lead you to different routes that you might not otherwise, you know, expect to take. So here we have this beautiful dollhouse, and you can actually run up this, or you can walk up it. It's pretty expandable. And up here we have a shroud screen, which is a brand new thing, at least in terms of this map. So you can shoot these down on low ground. You can shoot it up here, so you have some more cover, because otherwise you only really have this little block here, this letter K block. Or you can shoot it at red base, which is, of course, just another way to assert dominance. But let's go ahead and jump down here and actually take a closer look at the dollhouse itself. Now, this is a completely remastered build as well. We have a pink Lamborghini. Of course, that's a Barbie vehicle now. And that's made by ArtNoob, who helped me make a lot of the assets, including this little guy over here, but we'll take a closer look at that in just a moment. Inside of the dollhouse, I actually took a ton of prefabs from the custom game browser, so I'll link all of those in the description, but I actually made an effort to only use prefabs that other people made, just as a fun little community collaborative effort, of course, and I also wanted to make it a little uncanny, a little bit like a child just placed objects in here, sort of like a dollhouse would be. So it kind of looks like The Sims. We just have like some trash sitting here, but otherwise we have some high quality assets like these little fridge and sink and kitchenette areas. We have a little brownie here. All things that aren't like super high detailed for the purpose of the fact that it's inside of a dollhouse. It's not actual furniture, it's little toys, right? So I thought the uncanny valley of that was pretty cool. Like I said earlier though, back up on top of the base, we have little firefight ammo spawns. So here we have a firefight hill that aliens try to rush you at. So we have this turret here, which is really good for defending the dollhouse. Not so good for normal squad battle gameplay because of, you know, you're wide open and whatnot. But for aliens, they don't exactly see you that well when you're up here. But once they get close enough, they'll start to get you. Regardless though, we have a little toy soldier over here sleeping on the bed, and a Minecraft chest that, if I hadn't already taken it, is actually an ammo depot as well. So I made this little Minecraft chest just shoved in the corner, and it's actually ammo stock, so it's kind of cool. And here's the bathroom, pretty cute. We've got a little reflective mirror, another sink, bomb-ass toilet. We've got a plunger and freaking toilet paper, you know, just fun little details to look at, as well as a rifle in here too that I've already just now picked up when I wasn't looking at it. There's also an attic way at the top as well. And one more neat thing that I wanted to point out too is that the Christmas lights were used, you know, in a childish manner. They're actually decorating the dollhouse itself. So though it's not really producing that much light, it's just a fun little mechanic that a child might actually, you know, partake in. Let's take a look over here. We've got another box over here with a warthog that you can drive around in. I won't go off on too much of a tangent, but look how fun this is. Anyways, little sneak peek at some assets there. But over here we have the microphone guy. I don't actually know his name. He's got a microphone and Woody speaks into him sometimes. ArtNoob designed this guy. He's pretty cute. Pretty simple concept though. It's not too many objects going on here. Very well optimized. We even have some perforated grating on the microphone, so it looks like a microphone. And yeah, it's just what he looks like. He actually plays arcade music if you listen very closely, because you can put a tape inside of him, canonically, you know. Another little prefab from the custom game browser of a garden gnome over here, decorating the area, so pretty cool. Otherwise, the map is pretty much just everything I made or ArtNoob made in terms of actual custom assets. So over here, you know, we have a little Tikes egg and a cafe, beautiful cursive writing from ArtNoob, and a little Lego by me inside of here, who's just sitting behind this little, you know, cardboard diorama, selling drinks to whoever goes into the glow-in-the-dark cafe. little glow-in-the-dark marker over here too, which also acts as a little, you know, ramp, I suppose. Not very necessary, but it's still a cool little detail. So let's go ahead and follow the lights in reverse real quick and take a look at the little tikes truck in closer detail. It has a weapon spawn here on the side, another little rifle, and the little firefighters inside of here as well. You can actually go in here if you crouch. Let me in. Not a very good hiding spot, I suppose, but I made sure there was room to fit. And then, of course, the jump route that gets up there and, you know, to the grappling hook and whatnot. But yeah, over here is the TV area where we have the boys hanging out. We've got Rex, who is a Lego version, I suppose, and the Pizza Planet alien model here, as well as some pizza on a plate with, you know, some little grease and pepperoni. Kind of looks cool. You can jump on top of the Pizza Planet alien to get to rockets over here. Or you can jump up his leg like so. Little sidebar before I get to Art Noob designed this beautiful classic CE pistol. Of course, in Toy Story, the sketch usually has the, you know, a Western like revolver on it for Woody. But yeah, we just went with the whole, you know, classic nostalgic CE pistol. And he did a fantastic job modeling, I suppose, this design out of a bunch of random I think like sand gabions or whatever objects he decided to use. It scales down really small and looks pretty cool from a distance. But of course, just like everything on this map, all these cool little asset details just act as like cover or, you know, fun little routes that will protect the player and, you know, add some gameplay as well. And this over here is a firefight hill, by the way, so this is pretty important, not only for normal gameplay to have rockets right here and some high ground, but you can defend this area from, you know, the oncoming banished forces as they approach you from all different directions. You know, the alien toys coming out from the crevices, and it's pretty fun to, you know, fight off high ground there. This is a beautiful little TV, and it's got this nice little effect where you can actually see the room reflected with the Christmas lights and whatnot in the background. As well as this nice vignette that I added using some cool little trickery with reflection volumes and whatnot. Looks pretty good from all angles, and Rex over here is standing on a remote that Karmaplex designed. I'll link to the map that we made together in the description if you guys are interested in checking that out. It's another little toy map. I've actually made another toy map since then as well called Toys in the Attic, which is a very melancholic, nostalgic, you know, long forgotten toys in an attic, a bunch of Legos. If you want to look for a more realistic take on a type of map like this, definitely check that out. But this is, of course, a more wholesome, whimsical take on how a toy map should be, going with the iconic Toy Story look. Over here, we have a pretty cool little shelf where you can climb up on. You can jump in here. You're pretty safe in here. Even though there's holes, you can't actually throw grenades and stuff like that through them. So it's a pretty good spot to defend from. But you can shoot through them. So it's not, you know, 100% OP. And you can also use it as a way to get up to the second shelf, which is pretty much just some books, but a very good spot to look at rockets and maybe wait for it to respawn, or to look over at Dollhouse and get some defense here. Pretty good spot for firefight as well, because you can look down at the enemies. And there's a weapon spawn here as well. Now to get to the third shelf, the most logical thing would be to take the vent over here. Just like on the other side, we have this beautiful vent. For some reason, the audio isn't going on this one, but I'll get that fixed. Regardless, you can jump into it like this. And just like the other side, you can get over here to connect 4, or even land on red base, the bed over here. But over here, we have a Toy Story, you know, toy soldier sitting next to some frag grenades. So if I go ahead and throw some, you know, it's a little spot you can restock and throw grenades down, or throw them at blue base over there. Kobe. Dang it. Wait. Okay, it still landed in there technically, but it bounced off the shades. Regardless, this side has a threat seeker, whilst that side has a shroud screen. Not sure if that's bounced, don't really care, but you can do some cool stuff with it. Maybe, you know, chuck one of these down there so you can actually see if there's some people hiding underneath the bed, or maybe chuck one of these inside of the dresser drawer there so you can see if there's somebody camping in there too. So, thought it was a fun little mechanic. Go ahead and pick up my grappling hook real quick. You can crouch underneath this to get to the other side, or you can jump on top of these little pieces here. This is from my game night map that I made with Karmaplex, and it's a fun little Connect 4 object here. Uses a ton of objects, actually, but yeah, you can jump over here, getting to the top of the TV, and possibly make it to the dresser drawer. Perfect. So you can actually get up over here. That's good to know. I actually hadn't tested that. But anyways, let's go ahead and hop back over here to the third shelf. This has a baseball bat that can be used as cover in both directions, or it can be used as a bridge from the third shelf to the top shelf. You can clamber right there and get to the top, or you can jump all the way to the bed over here. So a lot of versatility in that one single baseball bat. I think it's kind of cool. And now we are on top of red base. We've got, you know, a little bit different concept going on than the first initial version of this map. Instead of just a giant red cushion, we have a very detailed mattress as well as a bunch of pillow fort, you know, box diorama going on up here that's meant to act as some little, you know, fort for Slink to be the opposing force for Mr. Potato Head over on the blue desk. Or maybe even this robot that's attacking this knight Lego in his side of his Lego castle. A lot of stuff going on, but we'll get to it as we go. So Slink can be used as a staircase, and he's just got this beautiful little coil made out of a ton of different pieces with this cool little reflection volume thing going on. He's standing on top of a bunch of Jenga blocks supporting him in this little cardboard sliver. Another little block over here to spawn a battle rifle. And, you know, cute little face. Little duct tape here that you can use as cover as well. You can hide inside of. Little letter block here that you can use to climb up. I think I already showed that off, but the concept is it's got a lot of, you know, fortitude over here, so it's a pretty good spot for infection and a spot to refill ammo for firefight. Alternatively, you can get onto the bed frame on either side too and actually run up these little stilts. So you can get ultimate high ground, one of the highest points on the map. A lot of cool spots to jump to from here as well, or you can even get onto the windowsill here too and run all the way along the outside of the map in all directions. And I'm not sure if you guys can hear it that well, but if you're close enough to this window, you can actually hear the wind. Because it's open, unlike the other windows, so kind of cool. Anyways, let's hop over here. This is the beautiful lamp that I designed with the help of Art Noob. He came up with the idea of using a bunch of umbrellas. I think it looks like a lampshade well enough, and I used a ton of different lights here. Not going to go into the technicalities of it, but to get it to behave like it does is pretty difficult. Pretty much any time you're lighting a map, it's hard, but when you're lighting a massive scaled room and making it look as if it's not big, you know, the lighting is meant to light like rooms that size, like an actual house, but I'm lighting a massive area as if it's a room, so I have to do a lot of different tricks to create the illusion that the light's actually behaving the way it's supposed to. But yeah, I'm not going to get into that, just wanted to mention it in case you guys were interested. Kind of hard to get this working right, like, you know, the lights reflecting off the ceiling like that in a optimized way, or the lights coming from this lamp and actually reaching these different areas and reflecting off of Snoop, I was gonna say Snoopy, off of Slink like that, whilst also creating this line of light here that a lamp shade should actually create. Anyways, lots of stuff going on. Here's the closet. It's revamped from the original version. We've got the infection spawn above that shelf as well as beneath the bed, because of course, like in my original version I mentioned, that's where monsters spawn in the kids' room. Here's Lenny. You can actually, you know, look through him like you would be in one of the movie, which is basically not at all. But the front side, his eyeballs actually reflect the map, which I think is cool because you can, you know, take a look and see what he's actually looking at. Over here we have a baby monitor hanging from a jump rope tied to a doorknob. Inspired by, you know, the movie again. The toy soldiers were trying to spy on what was for Christmas, or what was for a birthday present, when they were first being introduced to Buzz Lightyear. So this little baby monitor is also a good little spot to fight this firefight hill, as well as this castle, which has a lot of fortifications. This is also a jump route as well, which I'll get to later, but for the time being, let's go ahead and take a look at, you know, what's under the hood, aka what's under the bed. So we, again, have this beautiful cushion, we have this bed frame, and we have this little castle. I guess if we take a look at from the front, we have, you know, like I said earlier, this little Lego knight, fine little detail, fighting this robot from Toy Story. Now, I made the body of this figure, but Art Noob made the head. Nice little optimized version of it anyways. We've got some parkour here to get up the overshield right down in the bottom center of the map, which again is also on a firefight hill, so a cool little spot to tank enemies. But yeah, it's a fine little, asset. Adds a lot of, immersion to the map as if he's kind of attacking the castle, some environmental storytelling that a child might have. Over here we have a Lego Jurassic Park car coming out of a newly unwrapped Christmas gift. Not canon to, Toy Story, of course, but still cool. And this is where the shotgun spawns bottom mid as well. So more cover inside of here. Otherwise, you can actually jump inside of the car if you want. See what's under the hood of this guy. And of course, there's some parkour to get up there if you'd like. Otherwise, you can go through here. Jump on top of these little Lego pegs that are sticking out to get on top of the wall. Or just walk through the front gate. Beautifully detailed. We have a skewer that spawns in here. Some anti-air gun, as well as the fact that there's a warthog over there and a turret up here. It might come in handy. And it kind of spawns in a trunk, which sort of looks like a little, medieval chest, I suppose, too. And this castle is, of course, defending the queen. A little chess piece I designed there. You can get up there by jumping off the flag or off these little studs, or by coming over here and getting on this ledge. A bunch of different, nooks and crannies you can access to get to different spots. But if we go over here, we actually have an entire, remastered area underneath the bed. I added Christmas lights that lead under here as well, in case players don't really understand that there's stuff under here. It's a nice little visual guide that leads straight to the ghost, which is a fun little thing to drive around in over here, because we have this little, cardboard box diorama down here, a bunch of cardboard houses, which I thought was this fun little, bayou theme, sort of. And the ghost is a good vehicle down here because it actually drives over the Christmas lights pretty well. It doesn't get stuck on them like a mongoose would. And it fits down here over the flashlight and things like that. And you can sort of zoom in here and get some splatters because people can't jump very high underneath the bed either. This is another firefight hill as well. Very difficult one to defend because they also jump down from behind the bed as well. So they kind of come from all directions and there's not a whole lot you can do about them. Regardless, let's go ahead and jump out of here. We have a flashlight, which is an asset by ArtNoob, shining on a Pizza Planet alien, similar to the one over there. It's actually pretty much the exact same one, except for his hand is actually laying on the ground next to him. And he's sort of, canonically just like a long forgotten toy underneath the bed, so he's damaged, dirty, and you can see the flashlight makes this cool little dynamic shadow too, so you can see if people run by. If you're up top looking down, perhaps. And like I said earlier, underneath the bed where all the long-forgotten toys are, as well as the top shelf of the closet, which is like all, disgusting and tattered and has like clothes all scattered all over the place, is where the zombies spawn in infection mode. So you can't go too deep into here or else you'll, start going out of bounds, but you can actually fight some zombies here if you want as well, despite the fact that they'll be descending from a cloud like RoboCop, so it's not the most efficient thing. But yeah, fun little details there. So the castle on this side, as well as the shelf over there, has a man cannon that leads up to the top of Green Dresser. So though those Christmas lights lead to different ways, you can actually follow them all the way up to the top of that Christmas gift over there, which we'll take a look at, which has a snake toy from Toy Story, as well as an open gift that has another gift inside, a S7 sniper. But yeah, either way, you can take the lift, which will lead all the way to the top of Green Dresser. We have a beautiful globe up here that was designed by ArtNoob, as well as myself a little bit. I added the green texture here, so we've got clouds, we've got water, and we also have a green land, which I mentioned just because it's a weird way that I designed it. Basically, there's light being shown onto the globe all the way from across the room in such a way that it creates a gobo that only shows up on this planet and shows up from any instance in the room. Like I said earlier, it's pretty hard to do lighting on a massive scale like this because the way Halo renders lighting, you have to do a lot of tricks and illusions to make it seem like something is happening, because otherwise, if you get too far away, lights unrender, or they start to become low resolution, so thought I'd mention that. But yeah, cool outer space theme up here. Of course, this is one of the darkest corners of the room, so we have Earth surrounded by stars and planets, as well as a Lego spaceship that I designed. and the wasp spawn. So this is a pretty important spot in the map that's accessible pretty easily by either side. Not sure how evenly, but that's why rockets spawn over there and a skewer spawns over there. So if somebody does get one of the vehicles, more often than not, there's a way to defeat them. Over here, we can, get a really good vantage point of pretty much the entire map, and damn, I'm so proud of this map. I cannot thank Art Noob and Death Templar enough for making this project possible, because this is way more than what I thought was going to be possible when I first started recreating this map. Combining the Christmas theme with all these brand new assets that are being brought to the table. I think it's just, and the whole level design and layout of the room being remastered as well makes this project just so much more revitalized and much more reason to actually jump in to. It's not outdated or anything, because I was able to incorporate the thousands of hours I've put into Forge since making the original Toy Story map, and putting everything I know into this map as well in the short amount of time we had to put this together. Here, let's take a look down here real quick. Like I said, you can run along these Christmas lights. You can run, down them or up them. I have player blockers here too, so it's not, too hard to fall off of these as well. For instance, you can step a little bit to the side before you actually start falling off the cord. A little bit of cheating there, but it makes it a little bit easier for players to actually navigate those cords. Regardless, this is where the sniper spawns. Has a good view at blue side or red side. If you're coming from red side, instead of just having this little sandbag here to block you off, you can also jump down here, and you're pretty safe down here from blue side as well. And you have a view at overshield, so it's a pretty good spot to wait for that to spawn as well. So there's some letter blocks over here as well that has a weapon spawn for a rifle, as well as some plasma grenades, giving some incentive to go over here. You can actually go behind every, little nook and cranny you can pretty much think of in this map, including behind the dresser, which leads to this little hollowed out area. You can actually fit a warthog underneath here, so it's a good spot to hide from aerial vehicles or people with high ground, power weapons. We've got some little knickknacks down here, a black bishop, as well as a little sari piece over here. Just some fine little details to fill in the empty space of, the dark, empty crevices of this map. We've got some gum that's attached to this drawer, which allows us to get up here. So we can look into the, filled dresser drawer that's filled with a bunch of unfolded clothes like a child would have. This is a pretty good spot too to hide from either base because of the blockage of line of sight, but of course very detrimental if there's people above you. Speaking of, the grappling hook adds a lot to this map as well in terms of versatility, so we can actually get all the way to the top of the dresser here and have access to this wasp at any time. And speaking of the wasp, let's go ahead and hop in. I'm going to go ahead and turn down the audio just a little bit because we're going to do some talking here. I want to thank everybody, first of all, for pushing me to make this map. A lot of people leave comments, even to this day, on my original map, probably because, it's a Forge map with hundreds of thousands of views, and when people go to type in Toy Story in the custom game browser, it doesn't show up. So now, for the first time ever, it will. It's playable, it's available right now, and it's better than ever. Special thanks to Art Noob for helping me, bring this map to fruition and really bring it to be the best thing it could possibly be, and helping me with all these custom assets that he did, as well as Death Templar for giving me the foundation and the bare bones. Death Templar did a lot of the bare bones transfer of things from the previous map, so he was able to salvage a lot of the architecture of the map in terms of the walls and the windows and the bed frame and some of the furniture to, as much quality as he could, and even was able to texture some of the things. So that sped up the process quite a bit. And like I said in the beginning of the video, without them, either of them, this map would not have been possible, at least in the time frame of being able to get it out in time for Christmas. And most of all, of course, I just want to thank you guys, right? The Halo community. If you guys did not receive my first Toy Story project so well, I might not have went on to make more maps. And if you didn't know, I have made other maps. I've done a lot of really cool projects, toy projects, just realistic cyberpunk city and stuff like that. And of course this project, and right now as we speak, I have another map coming out in a week. It's called the Halo RPG. It's going to be coming out on the channel, but if you don't follow me on Twitter, you definitely should. It's a turn-based tabletop RPG that I scripted using thousands of scripting nodes inside of Halo. It's basically a video game coded in Halo. So you should definitely check that out or subscribe if you're interested in that sort of thing, because it's coming soon. But yeah, man, I wouldn't be anywhere near this creatively fulfilled if it wasn't for you guys. I don't even think, like, I was not capable of doing this before all of the work I've put in to make cool projects for you guys. And, you know, one of the most depressing things probably, right, is so many people forage and they get their maps in matchmaking or get on the recommended tab. This map will never be in matchmaking, right, just like most of my maps, because they're all passion projects that depend on a lot of other things like external IPs that Halo doesn't have legal rights to, right? So this map is 100% for you guys in the custom game browser to come in, you know, play firefight, play infection, play squad battle, do all the fun things that you would expect to do on a game night. And that's what I want to forge for most, you know, first and foremost is for you guys. I don't forge to get into matchmaking. If I wanted my maps to have the most plays, I would be doing that, but you know, it's just a fun passion project, and I'm so grateful that you guys are actually interested in this sort of thing. It's probably one of the most, you know, creatively fulfilling things I've ever done. So, oh, hey, there's some toy airplanes up here I forgot to mention as well. There's so many random knickknacks and assets just hidden and tucked away in this map that I forget. There's an 8-ball over there. It's the 8-ball that Woody shakes to, you know, get mad at Buzz and all that. There's also this smudge on the wall. That's intentional, by the way. That's not a graphical error. It's a cool lighting trick that I figured out. You can do like baked lighting and it actually stays there, but unlike all the other walls, which though they have hundreds and hundreds of objects to create this cloud wallpaper, I wanted to spice it up and do a little graphical smudge there, so it kind of looks like a child's been, you know, dirtying up the room a little bit as he's playing with all these toys. So, did I just go on a tangent during my exit monologue? I don't know. Anyways, that's all I really have for this video, guys. If you enjoyed this project, leave a like and subscribe. Really hope you guys are satisfied with the end project and the culmination of, you know, waiting for this map for over a year. It's finally here, and I've got more maps on the way, so thank you guys. And you know what? I'll see you in the next one. Peace.